Yo everyone, what's going on? Couriway here, and in this video, I got my second fastest time ever in a Minecraft random seed speedrun, 15 minutes and 6 seconds. Instead of my normal live stream runs where I leave it in the commentary, I wanted to try something a bit different and look at this run from an educational perspective. So I'll be talking over the run about my thought process and where I could have been faster. Let me know if this is something you like. I plan on doing more pure educational stuff in the future as well, so I'm excited to keep teaching people more about speedrunning. Remember to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. Only about 1/3 of the people who watch my videos are subscribed, and follow my Twitch as well where I speedrun almost daily. That's all for me. Enjoy the video, everyone. Alright, let's talk about this run. This is my second fastest time ever, and it could have PB'd very easily. There's a lot of things to go over, and I want to try and be as educational as possible throughout, so I'm going to get some things out of the way at the beginning here. So the first thing that you'll probably notice is that I'm actually not on my Couriway account, or at least have the Couriway skin on. I have a channel point reward that I use on Twitch where people can redeem different Minecraft accounts that I own to play on, and this is one of them. This is an account called Paniola. It's a Gen 7 Pokemon town, just like how Couriway is a Gen 6 Pokemon town. And yeah, that's why the skin and name that you see at the end is not the same, but this is like a normal occurrence on stream, so some people are probably familiar with that. Anyway, you can see I started on an island here with 0 trees, and I see a shipwreck. So I actually said to myself on live stream, like, oh, there's a boat here. It could PB. I have to at least play it out. So I swim all the way out to this ocean here. I swim all the way out to this boat in the ocean here. And obviously, if I had a dolphin, it would be a lot easier. It would make my life a lot easier. But no luck there. So could have easily shaved like 20 seconds off, but that's kind of super niche and super lucky. So doesn't really end up happening. This I all played really well. There's not really much to talk about. This is all stuff you know you do 100 of times. One thing that was really nice about this chest though is I was able to get 9 iron plus the 9 ingots and a diamond. So normally you need 11 iron to make everything that you want, but since I have 1 diamond and enough iron nuggets for 10, I can just make a shovel, and then I still have enough iron for a bucket, a pickaxe, all the things that I need. And now that I'm here, I can actually grab the wood in the shipwreck, which is why another reason why I played the seed out is I knew that I could grab the wood from here, which is really nice. And then that allows me to make my boat. It allows me to make my doors, my bowls, like everything that I would need. So really, really nice here. I'm able to just grab all my wood, and it actually gets me a really good ender time. All I need here is the flint, which I'm going to do, and I'm also going to craft my boat and doors like I just talked about. So heading into the Nether here, one thing that obviously is really important is if we're going to be able to find a bastion, and something that a lot of you might not be familiar with is a new strategy called E-Rain. I've used it in some videos, and I'll leave a link to K4 in the description below with his video talking about it, but basically E-Rain is short for Entity Rain, and Entity Rain allows you to use your F3 menu and a lowered FOV distance to find a bastion farther away than you normally would be able to see, and basically X-ray through blocks, hence the name E-Ray. So as I enter here, I'm going to E-Ray for a bastion, and you'll see that I have a very high E-Ray number. So you'll see it, the number, you'll see the letter E on the top left in the F3 menu, and I will be looking at that number, and since the number is high, it means there is a bastion. So that's what I'm going to pay attention to here as I enter, and I'm going to enter here, and I'm going to see a fortress right off the bat. So my instant reaction is, okay, I need to find a bastion. I'm going to do all the things that allows E-Ray to work, and here we go. So you can see underneath C that my E value is 144, and I'm not seeing a spike on the other number, though. Normally there's a big spike to like 20 or something, and I'm like, well, there's a bastion somewhere, but I don't really know exactly where. I can't find it. And this is one of my first misplays. I should have realized kind of right away. I had a bit of a hunch that, okay, the bastion's probably really close right about now, and I start to get a little bit nervous. But I should have realized this earlier and not wasted like 10 seconds. So as you see on my right, boom, there's the bastion. This seed is cracked. This seed is absolutely insane. And this is where a lot of big misplays happen. I'm panicking right now. I see a triple chest at the top here. And because I see the triple chest, I automatically assume that it's either housing or stables as a bastion. And as you can see, if you're familiar with bastions, this is clearly not that. This is actually bridge. And I waste a ton of time here by just running down and going the wrong way and thinking, where am I? Like, this is clearly not stables. This is clearly not treasure. This is 100% bridge. And I told myself in the moment, because I was panicking because the seed was so good, that it's very important to remember. I say it all the time in my videos, I feel like. If you're not sure what the bastion is, it's always bridge. So I go back up here. I'm like, okay, well, where's the bridge part then? And I mine through this wall. I'm thinking it has to be somewhere here, right? Like, I saw the blackstone on my left, so I'm just kind of digging up here, hoping that I see something. And all of this is a complete time loss. I could have saved close to a minute here, if not more, just on how poorly I played this. And it was something that helped me learn a lot for the future. Like, I'm never going to forget anything like this again. It kind of sucks that it happened on a really good seed like this, but it wasn't like the god seed, you know. It wasn't a guaranteed world record or anything like that. So I'm totally fine with learning on something like this. So here we go. I'm going to mine the gold blocks here. Standard bridge route, nothing too crazy. I'm always really comfortable with my bridge bastion play. I feel like bridge is probably, although it's not one of my favorite bastions to get because it's statistically slower than the other ones, I do feel like it's one of my best, and I always play it extremely well when I get to this point, at least. Because again, as we talked about, I did not play that triple chest part well whatsoever. Well, I played the triple chest part well, actually. I grabbed the gold armor, which was really clean, but I did not realize it was bridge bastion soon enough. But once I did, I played it really well. This hoglin was lucky and unlucky, so I was not expecting this, and it really, really scared me. So luckily I was able to kill it without dying, and I was able to get my food, and that's actually all the food that I use for the entire run. These 3 pork chops, I believe, are the only foods, or 4, I guess, because I just ate one, are the only foods I use. So now I'm setting up the dip route for bridge bastion. I'm going to break the gold block to anger all the pigmen so they come near me, and here we go. I get 4 so far. I believe I end up getting a couple more. I think I get 5 or 6. There's 5 in there right now. I'm looking to see if there's any others. I believe I get some this way. No, I thought I did. I guess I didn't. So yeah, there's only one guy here. I'm like, yeah, I do. Yeah, no, I do. See, I knew I did. So I break this gold block just to get this guy angry. I'll take the extra piglin trading, and I'm already getting pearls and string, which is really nice. So I start to organize my inventory with that. Again, I'm relatively happy with how I played this. There's probably some small, minute things that I could have done better, but again, like this is totally fine play. I look for obsidian here. I'm not getting any, which really stinks. Obsidian is really hard to come by in bridge, and I just could not get any here, which was really, really unfortunate. That would have been a nice time save, but it happens sometimes. There's nothing you can do about that. It's not like I could play it better or anything. So I start to think like, okay, how much obsidian do I have currently? I have 2. And I'm like, okay, that's not enough. I have enough string. I have enough pearls. If I can get the obsidian in these chests, I probably just leave, right? So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to throw the gold on the ground to these guys. And I'm going to just pray that I have enough obby in one of these. And I get a huge amount. I get 8. So I'm like, perfect. That's good enough. By the time I get back, they're probably going to be done. And luckily, they are. I come back down here. I get enough obsidian that I need. I have a gold block for a gold pickaxe. I'm completely chilling. And I am leaving. More pearls on the ground here. I'm not quite sure why those pigs were angry. I think they didn't see the gold at the beginning, which would make sense. So I'm out. I'm in this fortress at basically the 7-minute mark just because of how close the proximity is. So I was super happy with this. And it's fortress time. This is where I don't play poorly, but I don't play too well. I play pretty standardly. So there's a strategy that a lot of you may be familiar about that revolves around turning your render distance down to 5. I wanted to do that here. Basically, I'll explain it for people who aren't aware. You turn your render distance down to 5 when you're in a fortress that's either above a lava lake, like very above a lava lake with no other land around it, or if you're in a soul sand valley. I'm kind of in a soul sand valley, but there's also not a lot of room to run in this fortress. So I decide on the better play, the safer play, not the better play, excuse me, the safer play of standing at the spawner and just kind of riding it out. I have a lot of time for PB. This isn't like a clear 5 render distance situation. So I wanted to do the thing that I was much, much, much more comfortable with. I see a bunch of stray blazes and I actually see the spawner. So I feel like I play this pretty well in the sense of going to kill the strays, going to go to the other blaze spawner to activate it, and I do a really, really good job. Something to note, I've taken like no damage so far, and that's really important because remember, I have no food. When you're doing hypermodern, there's the first bit of damage I think I take on fall damage that shouldn't have happened, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And it's huge. Like fall damage like that, like 1 heart, half a heart there is totally fine. But when you take like a 2.5 heart hit or like a 3 heart hit, plus wither, that's when it gets really ugly. So I'm super happy with how I'm playing this. I only need 1 more rod here. If this guy dropped, I could have been out of here so much faster, but unfortunately it doesn't, so I have to sit at this blaze spawner a bit longer. I'm extremely nervous at this point. This is something to note. This was the best pace I've ever been on stream. So I was extremely, extremely nervous. And I'm cleaning my inventory. My inventory looks pretty clean. Throwing the potatoes out there was an absolute misplay. I shouldn't have done that. I didn't even realize I did that until right now. And here we go. I take way too much damage here, organize my inventory. I was standing in a pretty poor spot, and I am killing these blazes, hoping for one more rod. I finally get it, and I'm going for the 7th here. I actually get it. I don't believe that ends up mattering. And I'm looking at my chords. I'm realizing I'm in very bad chords for blind travel. I could have gone educated here. I stand by that this was the right play. And I decide to just chuck a pearl into the lava lake. I know I have fire res. I can just make the portal out here. And this is a good play because what it allows is I'm just going to be able to build my portal and not have to think about anything twice. This was, I don't want to say it was unorthodox. Well, it is pretty unorthodox. I don't think there's a lot of other speedrunners who literally just chuck a pearl into lava like this. I was really happy with this play, but I think actually after I did this, more speedrunners realized, like, in the moment, like, this is the right play to do. So here's my spawn. I spawn in the ocean. For reference, this is about a minute faster than my PB at this point if I had a close stronghold, but I made some other really bad misplays here. And before I say it, does anyone in the chat know, well, anyone in the chat, I'm so used to Twitch, anyone watching know what I'm missing? Does anyone know? Leave a comment right now because I'm about to say it. I am missing wood. I have no wood. I spawned in a crimson forest. I had so many trees around me, and I just completely forgot to grab them when I was going in between the bastion and the fortress, which was my original game plan, because those 2 piglin that were aggroed in the bastion were chasing me. I wasted a lot of time because of that, and I had to get wood. And this is the biggest time loss of the run. I take these dolphins. I actually turn my render distance to 2 to make sure I don't get mining fatigue. You may have saw it, but there was a monument and a shipwreck to my right. So I'm going to go run that way and, or not run, but swim that way and get the wood from the shipwreck because I don't know where else I'm getting wood in the run. The dolphins also left me, which was absolutely awful. And now I'm just chilling. I'm playing the waiting game. I get more dolphins here. I have to mine this wood. This was a really, really rough time loss. I probably waste about another, I want to say I probably waste about like 30 seconds going out of my way here. And that was my last like big misplay of this. So the main takeaways that I want to mention is never forget your wood. That's super, super important. It's super crucial. Mine it as soon as you see it. Don't think like, oh, I want to do this first and then I'll get it later. Always be thinking about it. It's super crucial. And I honestly believe that cost me a PB. I think that was a really big time loss, and it could have 100% cost me a PB. So I'm going to take these dolphins. I've only thrown 1 eye of ender so far. The nice thing about ocean spawns is that you don't have to throw that many eyes. And I believe right around here, I actually see the stronghold. Maybe in a bit longer, but it ends up being open exposed. The portal room isn't, though. And that gives me enough time to talk about the last really cool thing I did in this run that I actually talked about in a TikTok already. But basically, how it works is I checked this ravine in case the stronghold was like buried under the water, but it wasn't. So basically, if you get an open exposed stronghold, a lot of times, especially when you're on PB pace, you start to panic, right? Like you really, really start to panic because you're like, oh my God, it's open exposed. This is great. This is amazing pace. But you have to remember one really, really crucial element, and that's trying to find the portal room. If you don't see the portal room, but the stronghold is open exposed, do not panic. Just don't panic. I know it's hard, but stay calm and remember how to navigate a stronghold. So when I see the stronghold here, I'm actually going to be navigating it from above, because if I don't see the portal room, that just means that I'm navigating every other part of the stronghold because I know the portal room isn't there. So just, it's important to look at it, take in where you think the starter staircase might be based on what you're looking at and how the stronghold is structured. So I know that the portal room is not anywhere near here, so it's probably more towards the right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig in, or not dig in, I'm going to walk into this part. I'm banking on the starter staircase being in this island because I think that would make sense. I realize this is the starter staircase. I'm like, okay, cool, nice. So I know that it's not to my right. I know that it has to be to my left somewhere and probably down. So what I do is I start to go this way to the left. I go down. I look this way, and I'm like, okay, well, let's remember like the rules of stronghold navigation. You don't want to go too far out. So I know it's not that way. I decide it's probably down more. I go down the staircase, and boom. This was a really, really, really high-level stronghold gameplay for me. This honestly saved the run in a lot of ways, even though it didn't PB. It made the pace a lot faster. This, at this point, is not PB pace just because it took too long to get the wood. It took me too long to locate and navigate the bastion. And yeah, it just ends up not being PB because of that. I get a really nice dragon though, and it was still a really, really awesome run. So I hope this could be a bit educational for you. I hope you enjoyed what another top run for me looks like. If I'm being quite honest with you, it was really, really satisfying to get a run like this, because it's been a while since I was on a really, really good pace like this, especially this late into the game, where I was actually like kind of on almost PB pace in the Nether, or in the end, excuse me. So it was really nice. It was an absolute blast to play this run on stream. At this point, I realized it's not PB pace because my in-game time is just, it's not going to work out. So I know that for a fact. But like I said, this run was a blast. I learned a lot. I played really, really well in some parts that showcased my strengths, and other parts I played really, really poorly. But that's going to do it for me. I hope you have enjoyed. Remember to leave a like and a comment if you did, and subscribe if you aren't already. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy this one cycle and my reaction. It was quite a fun time. So yeah, that's all from me. Enjoy. Sub 15, maybe? Maybe? Not sub 15. Okay, dude. You're so sick, game. You're so cool. You're so cool. You're so cool. 1506, though. Dude, if I grab wood, that's maybe a PB. God dang it.